All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. This is Dean DeVries. This is
Anthony Gambardella.
might as well. So today, on today's episode, we are talking about self-employed, and we actually are redoing this video because we had an unstable connection earlier. So hopefully we can get through it this time. But I just want to just offer a sentiment of mine. I've been self-employed my entire life, and I know that the challenges and also the great benefits of being self-employed. And one of those benefits are to decrease your tax liability. And, it's funny because like when you get a mortgage, a lot of business owners are faced with the decision of, okay, do I pay more than I need to on taxes? Or I'm sorry, do I pay less than can I take advantage of all of the tax laws and decrease my tax liability, or do I want to get a mortgage? I can't have both, right? I could either save on taxes or get a mortgage, but I can't do both. So there's some misconceptions out there. That's the story that I think a lot of people have heard, and so we just kind of want to have a conversation about that and what's needed if you're self-employed, and what are the best steps to take if you're self-employed. And one of the things that we were talking about before we got kicked off was that, generally the best buyers that are self-employed, the way they make the most of that opportunity isn't necessarily, how their loan is put together in that moment or how much money they bring to the table. It's actually about the planning that they use for the previous 1 to 2 years before they get ready to make a purchase. So if you're self-employed and planning on making a purchase this year, you got to talk to us. If you're planning on making a move in the next 2 years, the best advice that we could give you is to start the conversations now, where we can just talk about your situation, basically get a really good idea of where you are right now, and then what your goals are, because what we do, on just the most spiritual level, is helping people get from where they are to where they want to be. And real estate is such a great way to build the wealth of a family. And, oftentimes that asset, that home, is what that entire family's wealth is tied up in and is protected by. So it makes sense to, take these decisions seriously, and we take them seriously, and that's why we're making this video, and we honor our clients' positions, and we want them to maximize their opportunities. So I'll hand it over to you, man. What is if I'm self-employed, what's the best thing I could be doing?
Definitely getting in touch with your accountant and me, so we can kind of go work as a team to get, you might be taking in $100,000, but you're only showing 70, so that you're actually, with the write-offs and how much you're actually taking home every year. But that might not be able to get you qualified for that. That $70,000 might not be able to get you qualified for that purchase that you're looking for, that dream home that you had your eye on. So that's why, starting early, like Dean said, is getting a plan intact and seeing exactly what you're going to need to not write off, so you can get approved for that mortgage. Because what you show on to the government is what we have to use for your qualifying. We can't use some of the things that you write off, and we can, add back depreciation, all this good stuff, but you got to see, let us look at it. I mean, in most spaces is always, every individual is different. Yeah. So self-employed is a tricky thing. You got to let us take a look at your tax returns for your last 2 years. And, we can usually get back to you, in a couple hours or a day, as long as you give us all the information, every page of your tax returns we need. But that's usually, let us analyze it all, let us break it down, and then we can kind of sit down with your financial advisor or your accountant on how you need to do next year's taxes.
Yeah, and that I think is like a huge piece, because the tax planners and the accountants, they have a few ways that they can arrive at the same goal. So if you say, hey, I want to show a little bit more income, but I want to keep that income as much as possible too. There's things like depreciation that you can write off that can get added back to to the
for your income.
Yeah, for your income and what you can qualify for. So yeah, I think just getting your team together, and our invitation in this video, I feel like there's an invitation every video, but this invitation is to allow us to be your partners, allow us to be part of that team to help you get to where you want to be. And part of that is just, making sure that whatever goals you have, you've got everything that you need. You are fully prepped and prepared to make the most of that opportunity when the time comes. And so, our job really starts at the beginning of when people say, hey, I'm thinking about making this decision. My job as a realtor isn't just to open up doors and, for you to take a look at houses. My job is to consult and to guide and to lead. And if there are, if there's some uncharted territory, I'm like your GPS. You're always going to be the driver and the captain of the ship, but you're going to need a GPS to tell you where the landmines are, where the icebergs are, and where's a clear path and a safe path to get you there. So that's what I really appreciate about, this partnership and what we have and how we kind of tag team and serve clients together. But man, for the self-employed buyer, do yourself a favor and just start that conversation early. Even if you don't think that you're planning on making a move. Like I just talked to somebody earlier today that was like, I'm going to die in this house. There's no way I'm moving. And I also have had many people say that to me in the past. And then, a year later, they're making a move because you just never know. Nobody knows the future. Sometimes, you might get into a situation where you're like, man, it would be really nice to get into that next home. And it's probably more oftentimes than not, it's closer to you than what you really think it to be. And we can make that process way more streamlined. So, this is the invitation. So just accept the invitation, at least get to know us, and then, decide if you want to accept the invitation or not. But it really starts with just taking the initiative and just being okay with just, trusting. This does require an element of trust, to just share like, hey, look at all my financial, decisions I've ever made, like here's everything, it's like, get naked and say, hey, here's everything. But, it's that is what it is. And that's the best way that we can serve people. And that's the relationship that I just honor and just really hold sacred. So, anything else that you think that,
just to piggyback on that, I mean, like Dean said, but we're here for you to help you. So don't, I've had people that are, I'm a little embarrassed with, the amount I showed, or, I made more than this. Like, it's okay. Like, we're here for you to help you. So don't be embarrassed with any of that. And we understand it as, you're a self-employed person yourself. You understand the fact that I don't blame you for writing off those things or not showing as much. That I get it. Trust me, I get it. I just had somebody, if you're not thinking about purchasing, but this person wasn't actually thinking about purchasing, and they're self-employed and they wanted to refinance, to do a cash out refi. And it was only like an $80,000. They had no mortgage on the house, and they wanted to pull out about $80,000. And we had to pay off some things, and they make plenty of money. It's an $80,000 loan, but they were like, really, I got to pay these things off to get qualified? Well, they showed a Schedule C loss and a Schedule E for their rental properties that they have. So it was little things like that you don't think of when you're doing your taxes, or if I'm never going to buy another house. Well, look, they didn't think they're retired. They do some things on the side for, self-employment income. Mm-hmm. And they never thought that they would ever need to worry about it. And now we're kind of going through it. We structured it properly. We are able to actually not have them pay off anything. We worked it all out. However, we did it. And now they're so happy that they're able to get the amount that they wanted and do the renovations to their home. But I mean, you just always plan. It makes sense to plan. You never know when you're going to either need to do a refinance, or, you find your wife comes up to you and you say she wants this house. I mean, come on, you got to give her that house. So
happy life.
Yes. But that's pretty much it on it all. But just ask us the questions. It's okay. We've heard the questions before. And if we don't know the answer to them, we'll definitely point you in the right direction and do our research to figure it out.
Yeah. I just want to reiterate, like, it's never like comfortable, to talk about those things, only because we don't think it's comfortable. But it's actually like everybody's in the same shoes. We're all just trying to figure this out. We're trying to make the best decisions for our family. And, we live in a world where, everybody puts their best foot forward on Facebook and Instagram, and you're seeing all the glamour of everybody. But trust me, I've seen people that are just like living the life on Instagram, and they're, that's not really what all of their life consists of. So I'll just leave it at that. But, it doesn't matter. Like, everybody is on their own journey, and where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be, and just honor that and appreciate that. We appreciate that too. So we're just here to help. We just want to help you get to that next level. So thanks again for listening. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you guys.
Take care.